Hey guys, this is Ashley and welcome back to my channel. So for all my new subscribers, and if you're new, welcome. If you're returning, thank you so much for returning. My name is Ashley and I have a doctorate in pharmacy, which is known as a PharmD. I am a retail pharmacist and I love makeup. So hence we have Dr. Ash and her makeup. So I've always been into makeup ever since I was a little girl. You know, I fall in and out of love with makeup and I've always wanted to have a YouTube channel. So finally, about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years now, I stopped being scared and gained the courage to start a channel. And so here we are today. So today I just wanted to do like a catch-up video, but I also wanted to play around with the Give Me Glow Summer Vibes palette. So Give Me Glow, you know, they are a pretty mid-level indie brand. They're getting very popular. They have fabulous shadows and I've never really tried them out. I do have the Christmas Morning palette right here, but I've never actually really played with that palette. But I decided to pick up the Summer Vibes palette, and they recently changed the outboard unicorn of their packaging for this palette. So the palette and everything is still the same. This palette retails for $54, and unfortunately at the time when we're like talking about the palette, it is out of stock. But this is a palette that they frequently restock, and it's kind of like a staple palette in their collection, and a lot of people have loved this palette. This palette came out about 2 years ago, so I wanted to take this opportunity to play around with the palette, do a couple of looks. I think I'll do one on this side, one on the other eye, and then let's just chit chat, talk about life. It's been a lot going on, and 2020 has been a doozy, and I feel like I've been rolling with the punches, like seriously. I mean, nothing, I don't want to be over dramatic. My job is in good standing. I'm not going through it with like a lot of people are, because some people are going through some really serious hard times right now due to COVID-19, but nonetheless, it's been a little hectic over here. So let's go ahead. I'm going to do a couple swatches of this palette because I do believe swatches are helpful, especially on my skin complexion. For foundation, I usually wear a Fenty 385, and then at McGrath, I use the shade Medium Deep 22. So just to be helpful, and this is what the beautiful palette looks like. And I think I just said in the beginning that the palette, that only the unicorn was changed, but this cover was changed also. And so these are the shadows. That's what I'm trying to say. And if you notice, Give Me Glow gives me seriously big pans to use, okay? So you're not going to be running through these eyeshadows anytime quickly, and that's probably affects some of the price point, but I've heard their mattes and their shimmers are divine. And if you go and check on their Instagram, I mean, the swatches look amazing. So let's go ahead and jump in with a few swatches, and then we'll get into getting the face together. First up, we have Coconut Slushy, which is a beautiful metallic shade, and as you can see, it is really, really foiled. Next up, we have Peach Snow Cone. And that shows up actually really pretty pigmented. And then we have Summer Fling, which is a beautiful, look at this color. Summer Fling, that is gorgeous. And look at my hands, just so you can see. Next up, we have Brazilian Bikini. Oh man, that's gorgeous. And then we have Orange Soda Pop. These colors are so pigmented, and I have not swatched these yet, especially not the mattes. I swatched a couple of the shimmer shades. Next up, we have Fireworks, which I have so much pigment on my hand. For the next shade, you see a little bit of that pigment rolling. Then we have Watermelon, and that's what you saw just kind of flake off. Oh my gosh, look at the color. This, y'all, look at my hand. Look at that. Next up, we have Mango Margarita. Oh man, that's beautiful as well. And then we have Sunny, which is a bright yellow, and that's pretty pigmented as well. And I did not dip my finger that hard into Sunny. Next up, we have Bronze Bombshell. That is very pretty. And then we have Skinny Dip. Very pigmented as well. And last but not least, we have the shade Tan Lines. Wow, so this palette swatched so well. So pigmented. So these are, let's see, in this palette we have 12 shades. So these are the beautiful 12 shades of the Summer Vibes palette. Okay, and just so I was wondering, because especially the shade Watermelon is so bright, this is actually considered a pressed pigment palette. So if you do not like staining of the eyelids and things of that nature, please beware, because it can happen, especially with this shade Watermelon. My hand is still a little stained from it. Okay, so I brought you in closer so I can do my brows and we can chit chat about everything that's been going on. So I just want to start this with saying I hope everybody is doing well. I'm using my Benefit Cosmetic Goof Proof pencil in the shade 3.75 that I always use. Let me tell you, like 2020, it's just been so eventful. And you know how you just know, like, okay, well, things can get bad, but you just never think like, okay, like all of this could be going on in the world at the same time. And it's just been crazy. And I just hope everybody is doing all right, because it is currently July. And let me tell you, I think the last time we sat down and talked, or I came and talked to you guys, it was in March. And I know I was going through a whole episode, March or April, with my refrigerator. So finally got that rectified. I told you that I had a home warranty with Sears. And okay, so I can only talk about it so much without getting so mad, because they really boiled my blood. Oh my God. So my refrigerator went out and the guy finally came and fixed it. The parts finally showed up. Literally, I called. I was like, okay, where are the parts? And they were like, oh, they're on back order. And I was like, well, I've kind of been waiting. And it says in my warranty that, you know, the refrigerator has to be fixed within X amount of days. And we're here. And now we're telling me the parts can't be, you know, shipped because they're on back order due to COVID-19, which is like totally understandable. I'm going to come back to this one in a second. So she was like, yes, ma'am, I'm going to send you, you know, to a higher up with the customer service team. And then lo and behold, the next day when I get home from work, and remember, I'm still like going out and about and working every single day because, you know, I'm an essential worker by being a pharmacist. So lo and behold, when I get home, literally the parts have shown up. So I schedule it. I do the little test. The guy fixed it. He was like, well, actually, you need a fan. I'm like, cool, whatever, make it happen, because, you know, like, this is not working for me. I don't have a refrigerator at this point. You know, the refrigerator is only good for a couple of days worth of food, and I have to make sure it's cooked, you know. So refrigerator goes out on me. Do the test, it's working fine. Week later, I purchase more food. Refrigerator goes out again. So I'm like, this is some bull crap. So I schedule, you know, another appointment. They were like, yeah, we were just there to fix it. I'm like, yeah, and it's not working again. So they come back. Well, they were supposed to come back. So the guy canceled on me in the middle of my slot. So they was like, they will be here. The next thing you know, they weren't here and they just canceled it. It was like, okay, so then I call customer service. I literally can't get anybody on the phone for like 3 to 4 hours. It was a nightmare. And the guy is like, trust me, I know what I'm doing. And they put you in as a cash paying person versus someone who has a warranty. And I'm like, does that matter? And he's like, I'm going to make sure the person shows up. And at this point, I'm like, that means nothing to me until the person is here and is at my house. Because last time, you know, or the other day, the person was on the way and you canceled in the middle of, you know, my appointment time. And then people, I guess with COVID, everybody just thinks that everybody's just sitting at home, working from home, when that's not the case. Because he was like, yeah, they can come tomorrow. I was like, what? I got to work. No. So I'm not just going to be taking off days, wasting my PTO because you messed up. So they come back out. Then they decide, oh, the refrigerator can't be repaired because there is a short in the wire that powers the fan of the refrigerator. And because the refrigerator is like 10 years old, even though that's not very old, but technology just moves so fast these days with all these appliances, they're like, well, they don't even make that cord anymore. So you just need a whole new refrigerator. I'm like, cool, that's fine. So they sent me a voucher. They said, well, you can either, you know, get a refrigerator from us, or you could take a check. And the check was like for $1,300. So I'm like, cool, give me the check because I'm tired of dealing with you guys. So I get the refrigerator, I pick it out, it's going to be installed. Mind you, somewhere in between there, the girl, I couldn't film because I had viral pink eye. Right, okay? So I read, I mean, you know, it was like red, but then it's just like, oh, is it my allergies? I'm like, ooh, is there something else going on? What's going on? Then in between that, because remember I told you I work for a retail pharmacy, I had a couple people in that work with me go on quarantine because their family members had. Well, one person, this is the Urban Decay primer in the shade Caffeine. Just going to spread this all across my lids. One person thought she actually had COVID-19. So they shut the store down and then they come in deep clean. And then the other person, they had their family member. So their sister and her, brother-in-law, they had COVID-19. So they live in a duplex. So basically they live in one building, you know, apartment on top, apartment down below. And her sister lives in an apartment down below, and her sister's family had COVID-19. So my tech gets tested, they're fine. And my other employee who thought she had was fine. Then another employee, they thought her father had it. And it's, you know, in Illinois, it was kind of real. Like, you know, it's serious. I've known quite a few people who's been affected by it. I have a friend, who has a friend, and I know her, but you know, we're not super close. Her father passed, you know, he has symptoms, and by the time they could convince him to go to the hospital, he passed away later on that night. You know, I've had my mom, like she has a coworker that she's pretty close with. Sorry, you know, my eye over here is betraying me. Oh, and I'm sorry, this is, you know, what is this, a Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush. So I'll try to link everything down below, but we're really just kind of playing and chit-chatting here. So I got my primer all smoothed out. I've known quite a few people who've gotten COVID. I know somebody right now that has COVID. So they don't live in Chicago. They live in another state. So like the threat is real. And at one point, like Illinois was like number 4 in states. I looked up, we were number 3. It was like New York, New Jersey, Illinois. I was like, wait, what? And I feel like our governor and our mayor has done a good job, but people have just been cooped up. And at this point in July, you know, it's crazy. But Illinois right now is in phase 4. So I know a lot of those states have been locked down, but when I'm talking about what all this is going on, this is like maybe March, April-ish. So at this point, I got viral pink eye. I can't see out this eye. I go to work. It had been like rainy and gloomy all week. And then I go to work on this one particular day and it's sunny. Grabbing my little towel. It's sunny and I'm like, I can't open my eye. This is not gonna work. So I call my scheduler and I'm like, I gotta leave work. Like somebody has to come and replace me because I can't see, which is also bad. I'm a pharmacist, so I'm gonna need to see what I'm doing so I make sure people get the right stuff. So I'm gonna go in with the Sephora Pro Crease number 10 brush. And let's see. What do we want to do? There are just so many fun options. Alrighty, let's roll with a little peach snow cone. I don't know where we're going with this, but I'm gonna pick up peach snow cone and we're gonna place this in the transition area. Oh, that's nice. Okay, I'm here for it. Could you imagine this on a white primer? I might try that on the other eye so we could just really see how that pops, even though I primed both of my eyes. So I'm just blending this back and forth right now in the transition area. So I go up to Northwestern, which is, you know, one of the hospitals here, and I go to their immediate care, and they're like on lockdown, and I'm like, okay, my eye is bugging, and she's like, it could be a retina detachment. I'm just like, what? But I'm thinking like, okay, have I been exposed to COVID? You never know. The area I work in is one of the hardest hit areas of COVID. You don't really have to keep dipping in, but you know, I just keep dipping in and build up to how I want it to be. But this is a really nice peach color. You know, they do all the little screenings and necessary precautions to see if, you know, I should even, you know, be seen or do I need to be isolated. And I asked for a COVID test and they were like, no. Because at this point, testing wasn't widespread. Like, you couldn't just go and request a test basically off of one symptom. You had to be like basically dying, and that's not funny, but you know what I mean. You had to be like shortness of breath. You had to be on the fritz to get a test, which is a shame because basically you're contagious for like 2 weeks before you're really, really showing symptoms, or so they say. But you know, everything keeps evolving. So I got that first shade down. That was the Peach Snow Cone, which was super pretty. Let's go in with a little Amigo Margarita, and then I'll probably take it in with the Orange Soda Pop. So I don't know what I just said I was going to do. I just mixed both together. So we're going to just kind of put this down below. Oh, that's pretty. That's working out very nice. Okay. So I'm going to kind of mix both of the shades together. And I'm just going to go back and forth like right here in the crease. And it's kind of turning the little peach shade a little bit more pinky, but it doesn't look bad. In hindsight, maybe we should have put the oranges down first. I don't know. But I'm going to go back in. These shades are really, really pigmented. So they wouldn't give me a COVID test. Turns out I had viral pink eye. I stayed home. Then finally with the refrigerator, because it's like stuff was just going on simultaneously. They figured out that needing a refrigerator, got the refrigerator, got that set up. Now I'm well, of course. And now we're at May, basically. And it's right before my birthday. My birthday was May 20th, so that was my COVID birthday. And literally, it was kind of like the meme, you know, like you didn't turn a year older since you didn't do anything with this year. And my mother turned me into a real life meme because she was like, oh, happy birthday. And I'm looking at her, and I'm just like, she was like, what? She's like, happy 35th. And I'm just like, she's like, what? I'm like, I'm turning 36. She was like, oh, hell. So she was like, you can just change it on your card. It says that on your card, too. So it's like, thanks, Mom. You real life me. I'm so all over the place. But, I mean, like, that's how my life was. It's just very chaotic. So, like I said, this is like basically a week before my birthday. Refrigerator is supposed to be delivered on Saturday. So that's Thursday. I have like a capstone project to finish up. I get it finished up with this leadership group I've been in for 2 years. I'm a part of the Links Incorporated. And then that Thursday night, we had rain all day long. And then literally around 10 o'clock, it was a massive thunderstorm. So after, I mean, the rain was just coming down. It was just hitting the window. So after the rain stopped, I was literally sitting in my room and I was just like, why does it sound like my bathtub is draining? I'm like, I took a shower 2 hours ago. Get up and my whole house is flooded. The whole back end, so I duplex down, so it's kind of like a garden unit, I guess you would say. And literally, my bathtub in my room, but really when I get to the back area of the house, the kitchen where my second bedroom is, flooded. Completely flooded. So now we're going to go in with this Sigma E54 brush. It's a medium sweeper, and I'm going to take the shade Watermelon. So whole house is flooded. I'm talking about literally sewer water in my home. So at this point, I'm just like, what else could happen? Like literally, what else? So super upset. I'm just packing this on the lid. It is so freaking vibrant. Oh my gosh. Do you guys see this? So house is flooded. My dad knew somebody who has a business, like a mitigation business, who helps with like people who have issues, you know, with water, because now like the whole back end of the house has to be cut out. I mean, it was so cut out because when you have water like that, you have to cut out, especially sewer water. You have to cut out all the drywall. So let's say, for instance, this is the floor and you have water to here. So now you have to cut all the drywall up to like here. So to make sure that no mold or anything is growing. Then you have to sanitize and you have to spray and then you have to set up these big dehumidifiers. so it can dry out the drywall. It literally a whole thing. And I'm just going to press a little bit of the pigment into here so it can kind of just naturally fade up. I go stay with my mom, and luckily she lets me in because, you know, it's still COVID-19 going on. And even though my mom looks great, she'll be 70. So let's face it, at the end of the day, she's still a senior citizen. We got to protect the seniors. You know, I'm going to go in with a little bit of tan lines. And this is just like an e.l.f. brush that I've had forever. And I'm just going to pick it up and kind of dab it in the corner just for a little bit of, see if we can create a little dimension here. And I end up having to stay with her for a month. So that's why I said when I woke up on my birthday, she's literally like, happy birthday. And I'm just like, thanks. Like, I'm over it at this point. You know, I'm just like, okay, I'm going to enjoy my COVID birthday. I'm going to chill. It's no big deal. You know, I'm going to drink some champagne. And yeah, that'll be it, you know. So I end up staying with her for a month. So then the murder happened of George Floyd. I'm just blending this back and forth. I like how that brown created a little bit of depth right there. And I do have a little bit of fallout because of that watermelon shade. The shades are very pigmented, but they do have kind of like a little bit of fallout if you're not careful. So I would definitely do your base last. So I'm just kind of making sure all of this is pretty seamless. Then with my Sonia G flat definer brush, I'm just going to go in with a little bit of the shade Fireworks. And that was just this duochrome peachy shade here. And so the murder of George Floyd was just, it's really too much. It really, I mean, first of all, that's super pigment. He was the third person that we learned about because Breonna happened in March. Ahmaud Arbery happened in March, and we had just found out. Then we had the guy who was bird watching in Central Park, and then after that we had George Floyd. Literally, the bird watcher in Central Park was probably like, what, a day or two before, maybe like the day before. And just to take somebody's life like that. So my camera cut me off. I'm not even sure where I left off. But I was just basically saying that, you know, that he was the third murder that we learned about. And it's just been so much brutality. And I just don't even really have words. I'm just so angered by it. And it's just so sad for, you know, that man to lose his life the way he did over a $20 bill that probably wasn't even fake. So, I mean, I'm really proud of the Black Lives Movement. I can't even speak. I just get kind of choked up about it. I'm really proud of the Black Lives Movement. I'm really proud of the Black Lives Matter movement that has been taking place across the country. Everybody's joining in, all the allies and all the understanding. But we have so much more work to do. And just, you know, it's just so frustrating. So we had the untimely death of George Floyd take place, and I just keep popping this in the inner corner. I'm not sure why, and I took it over a little bit too far, probably because I'm just distracted about talking about Mr. Floyd. But literally, I mean, it's like we just can't keep doing the same things. Like, we just can't. And I hope I'm making sense. And it's really upsetting. So right after, you know, his murders, basically at the beginning of June, the very end of May, top of June, very end of May. So in Chicago, like that Friday night, I know it was a lot of the protests that kind of turned kind of violent in Atlanta. That Friday night, it was cool in Chicago. So basically, I've done this look. I like how it looks. Sorry to just cut me off. I know I'm everywhere. But that Saturday night, oh my God, it went up in Chicago. Like, literally. I mean, we had protests, but then outside of the protests, we literally had crimes of opportunity. So people literally looted the whole downtown. And you can feel however you want to feel about looting. And like, yes, looting has a part of the revolution, and I get that. But at some point, it's a gray area. and you got to know when is okay. And I'm not saying it's okay, but you got to know when it's a part of what the change that's happening and when it's just crimes of opportunity. So Chicago was heavily looted that weekend. So Friday night it was fine. Saturday night they looted the whole downtown. Literally, like, I know people who live in an apartment building and it's a grocery store downstairs from it, and they have broken into the grocery store. Know somebody else, you know, the bottom of the building is whatever type of business, and they set that on fire. So now they're being impacted by smoke coming up. But then Sunday, the next day, so like the place where I work, the company that I work for, the whole district was looted. And my district where I work is in the middle of Southside Chicago, and some areas are better than other, but technically my district serves underserved communities. Bottom line. Talking about black people, brown people, the area where I work is black and Hispanics. And if you don't consider yourself to be African American, they are either Afro-Latina or they are Caribbeans. Literally everything, all of our stores were looted. And I mean looted to the point where, like, my store where I work was closed for 2.5 weeks. So it's just like, you're not mad at the looting, but then it's just like, okay, we understand what happened. But then when you look what happened, it's just like, it was literally crimes of opportunity. So I'm not sure if you're hearing on the news where you're talking about like the opioid epidemic and all of those things. And what we have to go through as pharmacists dispensing certain medications is so tedious, because people will literally, like, they want the syrup, like what they call lean, and what the promethazine with coating. We have to stop people from bringing in fake prescriptions. So literally they took that as an opportunity to run in the pharmacies, no matter if you were the retailer I work for, the competitor, the mom and pop store, the grocery store pharmacy. They literally ran in everything and jumped the pharmacies. I mean, like, they literally, like, I was off of work that weekend, but they ran that staff up out of the store. Like, the people I work with, they had to get up out of Dodge. They were cleaning up because we were broken into Saturday night. And then on Sunday, the person was like, yo, we need to go, because they are circling the stores. And when I say, I kid you not, they tore up everything. Like, we could not open. We're open now, but it was a struggle to get open to serve the community. And it ain't cute. It's just like, we open, it's boards up because there's so much glass broken. We don't have certain things that we used to have. I mean, like, eventually stuff will get repaired, but at the end of the day, it's like, literally one girl was like, I didn't know if I had a job to go to. Like, this is her livelihood. So, you know what I mean? So it's so unfortunate. So I just wiped this brush off, and it's the same brush, and we're going to go in with Sunny. And you know, I have to play with these blues in here. But it's just like, at some point, something has to end. Because now we're a month out of those lootings. And people are still struggling. Like, certain businesses are burned. Certain grocery stores are still not open. And when you talk about people who are already marginalized, who are already struggling, may not have a car to get around in, and maybe this particular store they could get to without paying somebody to go there. You know, when your funds are already limited and you got to pay somebody or wait on a child or whoever to help you out. That's, you know, it's huge. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's just, let me tell you, I am over 2020. So, that's what I've been dealing with. I was out of my house, like I said, for a whole month. Sunny is pretty. It's a nice fade away. And then I'm going to go in with a little bit of just a hair of the Mango Margarita, which was this orangier shade. So it's just been a lot going on in my world. So I have not been able to film YouTube like how I wanted to. And I had so many plans literally for my channel. Because, you know, thankfully, I got 1,000 subscribers. I was like to say, I got 100,000. Yes, that's me speaking it into existence. No, I reached 1,000 subscribers. So thank you so much. And my channel is really starting to kind of get some growth. rapidly. And I was just like, okay, well, maybe I had all these goals. I was like, well, you know, okay, COVID's happening, so I'm going to have more time to dedicate to my channel where I can, you know, go to work, focus on my channel. Yeah. None of that's been able to happen. So I don't know. Like, I'm going back in with that little elf brush, and I'm going to go in with Brazilian Bikini, this aqua blue. And I mean, it's just, it is what it is. And life just comes to hit you sometimes. And you just have to keep it moving. Because I swear, you know, mentally, I feel okay. You know, it's been a little rough moments here and there. You're like, oh, okay. I'm so tired of this, but this color is really, really, my goodness. But like I said, you know, I'm doing okay compared to some other folks, but I literally just feel like I've been rolling with the punches and my house flooding. Like, luckily the insurance was able to cover that. Even though it was like the fault of the city because their sewer lines were overloaded because we had so much rain that whole entire day. If it had just stormed, it would have been okay. But the fact that it had been raining all day long, literally from the time I got up to about 4 p.m., from like 6 a.m. to 4 p.m., it had been raining. And then for us to have a storm that massive and so much rain to fall that quickly, just wasn't able to keep up. So, yeah. I'm going to go in with this Sonia G Mini Booster just to kind of blend the shade out. But, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, I'm blessed. I'm highly favored. So, I haven't gotten COVID, which is not funny, but you know, it's just like, it's scary. Like, literally, you know, don't think like you haven't had that little tingle in your throat and you're just like, whew. You know, and I have bad allergies. So they have the nerve to kind of, you know, want to do the full. And this is kind of the part of the season where I need to now take 2 allergy pills a day instead of the 1. And I'm just like, no allergies. Ain't no allergies in 2020. No, you can't be coughing and sneezing and halfway wheezing because your allergies want to act the fool. No. Like, we can't, no. Pull it together. Because A, people going to be looking at you crazy. And B, you just sit there trying to think, I was like, is this allergies or is this how it starts? Is this how it starts? And the fact that I go to work and yes, I wear a mask, but I'm like, who knows who I would get it from? You know what I mean? So going in with the Sonia G Builder Pro, I'm going to go ahead and take Summer Fling. This palette is performing amazing, like literally. This shade is really, really pretty. So, and this has some duochrome action to it. I'm just going to, pat that down. Yeah, so that's what I've been going through. So I just really thought, you know, I really wanted to grow on my channel. I really wanted to like perfect, you know, some of my editing techniques. I wanted to look at getting a new editing software, but I wasn't quite sure because it was like, I might need a new computer or at least take my computer in to get more hard drive space to even hold, you know, a better software system as far as editing. But these 2 colors are really pretty together. And I'm going to bring some more blue around. But, I mean, honestly, just trying to make it day to day has been enough. Like, literally enough. Then I'm just wrapping that blue around. Let's see. So yeah, I really, really hope everybody's doing okay. And I really wanted to have like, you know, multiple uploads. And then it was like, okay, I could probably upload right now, but I have freaking viral pink eye. That hurts. And let me tell you, viral pink eye hurts worse than bacterial pink eye. So bacterial pink eye is when you would see like all the nasty gook coming out of people's eyes. Like viral pink eye is just, it's red, but it hurts. The pain that you get with it hurts. And the reason why, I don't know if I said this earlier, but the reason why I was concerned because, you know, they were saying like COVID can enter through the eye and that could be an issue. So I'm going to put the palette down for a second. I think we're pretty much, look at that shade. Look at this. It's so pretty. So for my foundation, I'm going to take my Fenty Hydrating Primer, and then I'm going to go in with that Hydrating Foundation. So I just like to take a little bit and rub it kind of right in here, because this is the area where I am the driest, even in the summertime, and I moisturize prior to filming with my Pond's cream. Pond's moisturizer, good old Pond's. You can get it right at the drugstore. So, like I said, I just had so many plans for my channel, and honey. But, you know, everything happens for a reason. So, I feel grateful, and I'm just glad that, you know, eventually I was able to work my way back to you guys. And it's been so fun just discovering, you know, my new subscribers and the growth of my channel. And I really appreciate all of my subscribers. And for this is an It Cosmetics brush. It's a Kabuki brush. It's an It Cosmetic brush for, what's their store called? Ulta. So I'm just putting a little bit of foundation on. And I just do a light layer. And I'm still that girl who, when I do my makeup to go to work, I put foundation down here. And even though I wear a mask, and I'm just like, girl, I need to stop doing that, because probably just need to do a little bit of concealer, because I have foundation all over my mask, which is a mess. So yeah, I do really want to say thank you to Amy Loves Makeup and Karen Harris Makeup. Follow them, they're very sweet. They have always promoted my channel since the very beginning, and so has Aging Gorgeously Lulu. Like, she's on the perfume. She said forget the eyeshadow palette, she is on the perfumes now, but I still love her. And she does live videos. Everything with Lulu, the Aging Gorgeously, is the live beauty experience. So that is great, because you can interact with her, or you can just catch it on the replay. But recently, Amy and Karen, they have put me in like with black YouTubers that you should watch. They have, you know, shouted me out in the My Beauty Community tag. So that's really exciting. So if you found your way from those two ladies, thank you so much for subscribing and taking their advice and joining my little makeup family, basically. So let me go ahead and throw on some liner, which I can't ever do on camera. So I'll be right back. All right. So I got my liner on. They turned out a little bit different, but what else is new? Because, you know, doing liner is like, you got to pray. People ask me like, how do you get your liner? I'm like, what, prayer? They're like, no, really. I'm like, no, really, prayer. Because it's tough. So I'm going to go ahead with my Jouer blush duo, and this is the shade Passion. And I'm just going to pick up this Christian Siriano brush. And I'm going to go in with this more terracotta shade. This shade is actually called, let's see, called Cherish Me, I want to say. The names I want to say might be inverted. And I'm just going to kind of put it here as a bronzer blush situation. And this is really, really nice. I have reviewed this before on my channel. Actually, this year, I want to say when I did my video about Violet Voss, Mad Matt's palette. So I really like this. You can be a little heavy-handed with this, so you have to be careful. But overall, I really like that palette. That palette performed extremely well, especially for those bright, vibrant colors. So I'm just going ahead and doing that little blush situation. And then I'm going to take it real old school using the Fenty Killawatt foil. And this is in the one Mimosa Sunrise and Sangria Sunset. So do the Mimosa Sunrise, a little orangey shade. And I'm going to use this as highlighter. This is another Christian Siriano brush. I got this as a set from two employees that I work with. They know I love makeup. And the face brushes, it was actually only a face set. It's actually not bad at all for it to be an inexpensive collection. They do work. I mean, they're not like Sonia G, but you know, they get the job done. Then I have my Nightmouth pencil by M.A.C Cosmetics. I like using these darker lip liners that are not quite brown to go with some of these bronzy lip glosses, because it just kind of alters the shade. So if you're tired of using like chestnut, think about using like a maroon. You can kind of apply it how dark you want to. I do have some lip balm on, and my lip balm is by the Summer Fridays. Then I'm going to go in with my mini lip gloss. My mini Opulust gloss. Lip gloss hit smack. This is by McGrath. And this is the shade Dreamscape. It is a mini of the mini Opulust gloss. Luckily it did not hit the floor, but a little bit of it did hit my dress. Let's do a little eyeliner. This is the McGrath. This is the Extreme Black Liner, and this has lasted so long. I do have a backup because I was like, oh, I'll be out before there's another sale. So let me pick it up, at least a sale from Sephora, that is. And I was like, Mother Pat is having a serious sale. I picked up one thing. I picked up a backup primer of her face primer. And then I'm going to pull you in closer. I pulled out my magnetic lashes because I wanted to put those on. But I kind of wanted to show you what I've been doing. I've been trying to film a video for that forever. It hasn't worked out. So let's talk about it now. Alright, so I pulled you in so you guys can see. So I've been wearing magnetic lashes forever. And, well, at least since really last year when they really came out for real, like a good system. So I've been using the Moxie Lash, which I did a whole video on, and I like to show you how I like to do it now. And when they advertise it where you actually draw the liner on your lashes, actually the magnetic liner, and then you go ahead and stick the lashes. But what I like to do, because I find it a little bit hard, especially after the liner gets a little bit older, but it still works well. I find it hard to draw your wings precisely as you would like them. Not to mention, I find that in order to save money, or just to be a little bit better of a hack, it's easier for you to do your liner and then take this liner and go ahead and trace basically where you want that liner to go. The thing about this is if you want a thicker wing, it will work a little bit easier. But sometimes if you want a thinner liner, it doesn't. And this is what the Moxie Lash wand looks like. If I can get it to focus. There we go. So over time, like I said, it gets a little bit more clumpier. So I literally just kind of trace here. But the liner still works well. I just find it kind of hard for me to precisely draw a wing. And I want to say this runs for about $30 or $40, and I literally just go ahead and I make sure I get enough on the corner. But you see, now I don't have to take it all the way up here, or I just kind of focus it really close to that baseline. And then I let it dry. And like I said, this liner, it gets really tacky. I don't know if you can kind of see it on the brush. So that can make it a little hard for you to put on this type of liner, especially if you struggle putting on liner sometimes as well. Now I have the liner on. So what I like to do is just kind of let it dry down, and I just try to kind of rub my fingers on some of the lashes that get some liner on there, because when you pop the lashes on, sometimes it's kind of hard. The magnet kind of wants to stick to your actual lash, which we don't want to happen. And then what I like to do, because I mentioned before, and I like to take my Kiss lashes or whatever drugstore brand that has like those magnetic lashes, and I like to wear those. So Moxie Lash does come with all type of lashes. I think when the company first started, it was just really like 3 lashes, and that's what I bought. It was Flashy, Sassy, and Baby Lash. So I want to show you, this is the Flashy Lash, and they are super dramatic. It's really, really cute, but I mean, that's a lot on a daily basis. The baby ones are very, very small. But, you know, most people love like the Ardell styles when it comes to like the Ardell wispies. So I do have those here, right here. And what I'm going to be wearing today are my Kiss lashes. This is just in 02. But I usually buy a lot of these sets. So you know these sets has to be like the bottom and then the top. And then you know you have to hook the top to the bottom. I don't do that. So I literally just take the top and I just pop them on the Moxie Lash Liner. Just as if I was using one of the Moxie lashes. That way, these are way more affordable. I think sometimes like $10, you catch them on sale, get a coupon, whatever. And you have way more versatility in what type of lashes you want to wear. So that is my hack. So we're gonna go ahead and pick up one of the lashes. If you notice, there are, let's see, can we focus? You can see there are 3 magnets here. They are reusable. Quite a few times. I would probably get 20, 30, maybe more wears out of them, depending on how you're going to take care of your lashes. I would say after you wear them, you do need to clean the magnets off, because sometimes the liner can kind of get caked on to the magnet just a little bit. And when you get ready to apply the lash the next time, it's not going to stick as well because it's still residue on the magnets. The thing about these, I haven't had an issue with it. You know, I kind of have a little smaller eye. You cannot really cut them because you cut it off, you're going to be missing a magnet to keep that lash in place, unlike a traditional lash where, you know, you can just kind of cut it down and put glue on it and it doesn't matter. So literally, this is what I do. You see how easy this is about to stick on? Boom. And let me just move this down. And this is why I say, like, you kind of have to have a decent amount in order for the lash to stick, because if you don't, it's going to be an issue. But look how easy that is. My eye is really red. It's allergies, y'all. I know. Ain't no allergies during COVID-19. I keep telling myself this. So this is literally what I do, and this is my hack, and I love this. So this definitely works if you are someone like me who has very watery eyes. I'm just kind of cleaning I have a little residue stuck to that middle of this lash. If you have very watery eyes, you struggle at getting liner on, you struggle at just the whole glue process, this is for you. And this is, I feel like, a more affordable way to do it. Now, Moxie Lashes, they've been out. I think I paid like $90 for all 3 lashes plus the liner. But Moxie Lash has sales all the time. They even have a gel pot liner. I haven't tried that yet, so I'm not sure how well that works. But I really enjoy this. I could just kind of pop in my bag if I'm going to be gone for a very long time and I feel like maybe I might need some and I just want to be careful. I'll put this in my makeup bag. But it really hasn't been an issue at all. They're very sturdy, as you can see. Well, okay, if I didn't pull it up. But you don't have to worry about them moving. I think I've worn this set quite a few times, so it's like not as you know, stuck down as before, but they stick very well. I don't have a problem with them. I've worn them. It's been no issue. I went to Dinner en Blanc last year, wore the lashes, and it was great. And like I said, I get a lot of water sometimes in the corners of my eye, which a lot of people do, and that's where your lash tends to lift up. But with the Moxie Lash, it's not an issue. I think, like, there you go. I think you see a little lift up in that particular lash, because I've had this particular set for a minute. I need to re-up, but haven't really felt the need because not really going anywhere. So I was like, I'll wear the raggedy ones for a minute. But let's talk about some affordable drugstore options rather. So like I said, I mentioned our Ardell. This one I found at my local drugstore, and it comes with the liner. Now, Ardell is a brand to pick up if you want to try out a magnetic liner with lashes that works. I know there are a couple other companies, and one I'm going to show you, which is a popular eyelash company. I'm going to show you the liner's trash. But the Ardell one comes like this, and it comes in a gel pot. Like I said, you can draw the liner on with this one, but I feel like this one is just easier if you want to just have a line for the sole purpose of putting on the lashes. But if you just want like a kind of a more dramatic wing, I would still go in with whatever your liner is. The liner I'm wearing right now is the NYX vinyl liner. This is the liner I usually use because it pairs so well over extremely foiled eyeshadows like we have here. But I don't find it as easy if you want like a because it's a little tackier because of the magnet formula versus a regular gel pot liner that you would usually use to do your wings. So this liner works well, and it also comes with lashes, and it has multiple style lashes, and with the magnetics, and you just pop them on. Like a magnetic liner that I do not recommend, but the lashes were good, is the Allure London brand. This is the liner right here. It comes in this small little standard liner kit. And this liner, when I tell y'all, it is trash, okay? Trash. Don't spend your money on this. I mean, if you got it to work for you, I don't know how, but this is not one to spend your money on. So if you're going to go for a drugstore option, I would definitely do the Ardell. If you want something more higher end, I would do the Moxie Lash. I know Glamnetic is a newer company out. I don't know how their product works, but I can attest to Moxie Lash and the Ardell. Okay, Allure, I wanted to try it out, and I was like, oh, it's a new drugstore option. It was terrible, but the lashes worked well with the Moxie Lash liner. I found Ardell came out with a kit later, and that one is a good, affordable drugstore option to use. But overall, I do think that the Moxie Lash magnetic liner is better. And I want to say that the reason why this is not as good, it's not tacky enough. It's too liquidy. It's not viscous enough. Where you see where I was showing the Moxie Lash liner, where it's kind of chunky, and those magnet and the fiber and the iron particles that make the liner kind of, you know, a little bit thicker, so the magnetic ends of the lashes can actually stick. You know, it's really needed in order for your lashes to stay on. If not, it's just, I mean, it's like a waste of time. It's like they don't even stick. Like, you could just put it on and it just, like, it's not going to stick. It's going to be literally a waste of time. So I just really wanted to show you that, and my hack and what I've been doing with the magnetic lashes. I love them. I've still been wearing them, especially when I have events, or, well, no events this year. But the last event I had was I had a fundraiser for my organization I was the chair of, and I literally had to be out the house and ready by like 6 something in the morning, and I did not take those lashes off until 10 o'clock at night. And it was all These are the 2 final looks using that Summer Vibes palette. I am really digging how this palette performs. And this palette, I think you should definitely get it if you're looking for some great gold shades, a couple of tan shades with some great pops of color, especially if you're a person who doesn't really like to play in colors. These shadows are so amazing. They perform very well. All the shades are so pigmented. So we basically used everything really except for Bronze Bombshell. We did not use Skinny Dip, but we used pretty much a fair amount of all the shades, and everything performed so well. This watermelon shade for this pink smoky eye situation, it is really, really cute. I think in hindsight, like I said, I might have just gone in with Mango Margarita and then orange soda and then the watermelon, but you know, it worked. And even tan lines provided just the right amount of depth in that look, just to give it a little extra dimension. And the foil shades are amazing. The quality, like, you do not have to wet these. You can use them with a brush, or you can use them with your finger, however you decide. I think they both came out amazing, and I really, really like this palette. So all the good words that you have heard about this palette in the past circulating on the internet, it is true. This is really great, and I'm glad I picked this up and have this in my collection. And I do want to give like the Christmas morning palette a whirl. Let me show it to you guys real quick. I'm sure you've seen it by now. This is the packaging. And when you look at it, it's very Christmas morning. It reminds you of that. But as you can see, the shimmers are very highly metallic in here. But I remember just kind of thinking, like, what was I doing wrong when I tried to apply some of these? But these particular shadows you do need to definitely use with your finger, unlike the Summer Vibes where you can do brush or finger. So I'm really, really highly impressed with that palette. And I hope you guys like the little tutorial with the eyelashes, the magnetic lashes. I've been trying to film that forever, and if I can, I will try to go more in depth. I'm also interested in trying out that Glamnetic brand, but I have not had a chance to do that just yet. So I hope you guys like the chit chat. I appreciate catching up with you guys. I had fun filming this tutorial and just kind of trying out some new products here and just letting you know what has been going on in my world. It's been a little, just roll with the punches, but you know, that's what I do all the time, whether it's a good thing or not. It's a good thing, but it can be a little stressful at times. So with that being said, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I really hope everybody's doing okay. Please take your mental health seriously. Exercise if you can. Make yourself feel better. Just do whatever you can to keep yourself in positive spirits, because it's definitely tough out here. There's a lot going on in the world, and 2020 is just really not letting up, you know. So we are just fighting so many pandemics. We have the pandemic, we got the stupidity pandemic, we got the racism pandemic. It's a lot. So with that being said, just leave me a comment down below, give this video a big thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel, because you know I would love to have you here in my little makeup family. And you already know what time it is. We do chair dances over here. So if you don't know, the chair dance came from my very first YouTube video, where it took me a couple tries to film the video and get it together. And so I was so happy that I was able to do it. I did it, and that's where the chair dance evolved from. And I love to dance in real life. You cannot get me to sit down. So we're dancing at the end. Chair dance, chair dance, chair dance, chair dance. All right, y'all. Bye.